What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the $40 billion EIDL grant and PPP, stimulus update. It is hump day. December the 23rd, 2020. Please do me a huge favor. Give this guy a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL with your comments below. Share this video, seriously, all over social media. And if you want me to help grow your business when this madness is over, ISE, please subscribe right now and hit the bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are once again running on coffee fumes. And do I have something for you? Oh my God. This is it. This is the biggest thing I've ever done. I started this channel in late March, early April. We still haven't slept now in almost a week. Early April now. I've done 131 videos, almost 3 million views. Thank you very much. We just hit 46,000 subscribers. I've never said anything bigger than right now. I know, Jason, you've been telling us now for 10 months, we're going to get her $10,000. What if I said, I've got proof? And not only proof, it's coming from the House Committee for Small Business. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have told me or heard me. See, I'm all over the map. I haven't slept. You guys have heard me talk about the Senate Committee for Small Business for months, right? Chairman by Marco Rubio and our very good friend, Big Ben Cardin, who wants to get the loan forgiven. We talk about that nonstop. But did you know there's a similar and same committee in the House? And its ranking member is Steve Chabot, a Republican from Ohio. What if I could tell you right now, and if you don't believe me, call his office. I have a document, and I'm going to pin it in the top comment, and if I could somehow get 46,000 subscribers to not only read the damn thing, but share it all over social media, you are going to have the merriest Christmas of ever and the happiest of New Year's. So if you have not given me a thumbs up right now and a hashtag EIDL with your comments, share this damn thing all over social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And once again, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get there, and I'm going to walk through the document which talks about PPP. So if you're looking for a PPP loan, you definitely want to give me 10 or 15 minutes of your time. And then I'm going to round out the damn video with 3 points, the second of which is a monster with respect to you getting $10,000 or the balance thereof. Before we get there, we must address a very touchy subject. Uh-oh. Grab your popcorn, folks. Sit down if you're standing. What's the 800-pound gorilla sitting in the room? Well, of course, it's the one and only President Donald J. Trump. And what he did last night, before all the clickbait channels went wild within 30 seconds, saying that he's threatening to veto the bill or that he's not going to sign the bill, he said neither. And to all the idiots on my community channel, or community page, I should say, that lost your fucking mind, and I actually didn't block anybody. Shame on you. Because why is the stock market up huge today? Why is the stock market and Wall Street saying not only did President Trump secure this bill, but he just made the next one in January even bigger? So let's examine the facts. In his 4+ minute tirade, if you will, in video, that some of you, half of you at least, lost your mind. What did he say? He said 2 things primarily. I want $2,000 stimulus checks, not $600. And he spent about 2.5 minutes railing against all the waste. Millions going to research fallen trees in forests? What? Gender studies in Pakistan? What? $40 million to renovate the Kennedy Center? And over $400 million to the Egyptian, Nigerian, and Nepalese armies. What the hell does that have to do with helping you and your family get through this pandemic? Answer, nothing. So if you step back from your partisan, by the way, you like my vest? Looks kind of cool, right? If you step back from your partisan hatred, what did he really say? The truth. Yeah, of course, the send-off at the end was his way of saying, fuck you, I'm almost out of here, so I'll insinuate that I might be the next administration. Ladies and gentlemen, the current president of the United States is not perfect. In fact, he's one of the greatest self-sabotagers of all time, and he's definitely got the biggest ego ever to hold down 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But his contender, challenger, president-elect ain't much better. In fact, if we're honest, if we could just be honest, you go all the way back to Reagan when I was a kid, all the way up through the Bushes and Slick Willie and Barack Obama, and now, of course, President Trump and elect Joe Biden. Not one of them, not a single one of them is perfect. They all have their strengths, and they all have a shit ton of weaknesses. So why is Wall Street up? Why are analysts upgrading their estimates for the first half of next year? Why is Nancy Pelosi calling a vote tomorrow on Christmas Eve for an amendment for $2,000 checks? Ladies and gentlemen, this does not affect PPP and EIDL, which we're going to talk about in a real quick minute. This has to do with highlighting the fraud, the waste, the pork that definitely is in this bill and doing something, whoops, almost knocked over the coffee, to get you $2,000, not $600 checks. Because we all know the truth. Every single one of you that gets into such a fucking rage when this guy's name comes up, if they manage to pass $2,000 or negotiate in the middle $1,200 checks, which Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley, a Republican, wanted to have, what is that going to do for you and your family? It's going to be a hell of a lot better. Are you going to cash that check? If instead of $600, are you going to cash that $2,000 check? You're goddamn right you are. So look, we all need to settle down a little bit. Give them a day or two to pass or not this amendment. Trump's not going to veto this. He's not going to go out the Grinch that stole Christmas. He's just trying to protect his legacy and do what he can to get more money and shine a very bright light on all the fraud. Because did you know this bill that just passed, 5,000 pages and change, there was a clause in there that there was no ability for them to edit or change the bill. They sent it out at 1 o'clock. They had a vote at 5 o'clock. They didn't even give our congressmen and women and senators in this country a chance to read it. It's like the Nancy Pelosi thing, you remember? Obamacare, well, we got to pass it to see what's in it. It's a corrupt town. The strings that are really controlling things that you never even see, they don't want you to know what's in the damn bill. Well, Trump just did a typical Trump move and said, I'm going to use prime time. I'm going to blow this whole thing up to shine light on what everyone really knows is there, but it's going to get extra exposure. So here's my prediction. I'm predicting $1,200 checks because Mitch McConnell does not want to lose the Senate runoff in my state of Georgia on January the 5th. And Trump will be able to see, well, it's not what I wanted to get you folks, but 1,200 is better than 600. And now everybody knows how much waste we have in the federal government. I'll see you later. I'm off to Mar-a-Lago. More importantly, if you made it this far, hopefully you didn't say anything stupid in the comments. I'm sure some of you will. So I'll have to block you. And by the way, if you're offended by me just telling you the fucking truth, you can unfollow this channel and I won't have anything to do with offending you. And more importantly, helping grow your business when we launch this new venture starting in the middle of January this year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got to admit, this is a channel like no other. We don't edit. We're all over the place. We're up, we're down, we're in, we're out. But more importantly, we're going to get you the $10,000 of the balance thereof. Don't forget, share this video everywhere. I want LA Late. I want Rod Squad, Speak and See, The Stevens Carlson Show, Aubrey Janik, Andrew Cartwright, Travis Sickle, JJ the CPA. I need you to get this document into the hands of all of them if you can, please. And this has got to be all over Facebook and Twitter. All right, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday's video, 30 some odd minutes long, we identified a number of facts. Fact number one, it definitely says that you shall get $10,000. There is no up to, there is no maybe, it says shall get. But there's two buckets of money that I can now confirm are true. So meet Kevin, you were right, but you were only half right, and I'm about to prove it in the next 6 or 7 minutes. Fact number two, there is $40 billion of EIDL grant money in here. On page, allow me to check, 2191. So the EIDL section is 2,184 to 2208. I was up all night, and I got 3 friends of mine that are as crazy as I am, and we've read those 24 pages at least 30 times a piece. I challenge everybody watching right now on all those channels that I just mentioned, show me in the bill where it says $1,000 per employee. It ain't in there. What is in there, and I'm about to pin it in the top comment, is something drastically different that gets everybody watching me right now $10,000 or the balance thereof. If you scroll down, I know this is madness, page 2191, section 268, of which allow me to please read briefly. This will take me 30 seconds. Section 332, excuse me. It's emergency EIDL grants. And it's a section where there's a bunch of strikes. Take this out, put this in. In other words, the original CARES Act and the section 1110 that we constantly refer to from earlier this year, they're taking out the language because that was for 2020. And they're striking or putting in new language because they've extended it, in case you haven't heard, on this new bill to December the 31st, 2021. In other words, you're going to have 12 months to get your EIDL grant and perhaps more loan money. By the way, I'm working on something. I hear there's more loan money coming. So stay tuned for that. But if you scroll down, boy, this video, if you're not thumbs upping and sharing, what do I have to do, folks? What do I have to do? And wait till you see this from the House Committee for on Small Business. It's going to blow your ass away. But anyway, if you scroll down, again, it's talking about advances. It strikes out 3 days. Remember, we were supposed to get our $10,000 within 72 hours, aka 3 days. Yeah, well, my ass. Well, they pull that out, and they put in what we've already talked about yesterday, which is it says no later than 21 days. So when they pass this bill, it's already passed, by the way. Once again, if you made it this far, God bless you. We're working on an amendment that's going to be voted on tomorrow. Is there going to be a last-minute negotiation to go from 600 to 1,200 so they can save face? That's my prediction. This is a separate amendment. It's 1 or 2 pages out here. Instead of $600, it's going to be $1,200 or $2,000. They don't have to redo this. Your EIDL and your PPP money, which we're going to talk about in a second, it's safe. It's safe. It ain't going anywhere. In fact, Trump said about 2.5 minutes in, I want more money for small businesses, not sending it over to militaries in foreign countries and to research fallen fucking trees in the forest. My goodness, I'm telling you. Anyway, see what happens when you don't sleep. I'm so excited for you guys. This has been a fucking nightmare for the last 10 months. I know I'm going to get thumbs down. I get people telling me, you know, you wouldn't be too bad if you didn't swear so much. Well, if I didn't swear so much, I wouldn't be myself, would I? Page 270, actually section 270, page 2192. In paragraph 7, by striking, quote, 20 billion and inserting 40 billion. And by striking December the 31st, 2020 and inserting December the 31st, 2021. So what did I just read to you right there? They took out 20 billion, which was the original CARES Act. Follow me on this, very important, right? It took the SBA about 4.5 months to get through $20 billion of EIDL grants from March to around, I think it was middle of July. They just struck or took out the $20 billion from the original CARES Act in section 1110, and they inserted $40 billion. So me, Kevin, you were right. But I will also give you credit when you said there is another $20 billion here, but I think it's going to be $1,000 per employee. And you've seen all the smaller channels. I'm not talking about the OGs, Speak and See, Rod Squad, Stephen Carlin, all those other guys that have much larger channels, and I do appreciate your help. All these smaller channels are piggybacking whatever the hell me, Kevin, says. They don't do any research or digging like this document I'm going to go through in a second like I do. So we strike $20 billion, which was part of the original CARES Act. It is, in fact, $40 billion. But here's the best news of all. If you want to see this, you can go back to yesterday's video because I'm only pinning what I'm going to read with you right now. Let me adjust this. Can you see me? You see me? Hurry up, Jason, 14 minutes. Keep it under 20. This is well worth it, folks. If you want a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, I'm going to give it to you right now. It is called the COVID Relief Small Business Provisions. This came out late December the 21st, hours before the law actually passed. This comes from the House Committee on Small Business, which is just the same as the Senate Committee for Small Business, chairman by Rubio, and of course, Big Ben Carton. The ranking member is Steve Chabot. He is a Republican from Ohio. Call his office if you don't believe what I'm telling you right now. Paycheck Protection Program. I will go through this quickly. I don't normally talk about PPP, but there's some really good shit in here. So if you want PPP, you definitely have to read this video. It provides $284.5 billion to reopen and strengthen the PPP for the first time and second time borrowers. Develops a process for small business to receive a second PPP if the small business has less than 300 employees. We've talked about that relentlessly. And can demonstrate a revenue reduction of 25%. We all thought it was going to be 30%. They made it even better. You only have to show an economic loss of 25%. That applies also to the EIDL grant. The maximum loan amount for the second draw of PPP has been reduced to $2 million, in case you haven't heard. It does increase, we know how mom feels about the burps. For all the OGs, all the supporters of this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It increases the PPP loan amounts for what is called NAICS, 72 businesses. These are accommodations and food services. So if you're in that sector, you're going to get more PPP. It creates a simplified PPP loan forgiveness application. This is very important. It creates a simplified PPP loan forgiveness applications for all loans that are under $150,000 dollars. I need some rest. Actually, I'm going out tonight to have a few, and then I will definitely get some rest in the next 24 hours. So if you have a loan less than $150,000, whereby the borrower signs and submits a one-page certification. So if you're looking for loan forgiveness, the new bill provides, it's one page. It's not, I think the last one was 3 or 4. It was very complicated. It submits a one-page certification that requires the borrower to list the loan amount, the number of employees that you have retained, and the estimated total of the loan spent on payroll costs. Very self-explanatory. The PPP, this law that just passed, strengthens lender hold harmless provisions. That's not important stuff to you. It expands the list of eligible expenses. You may have heard that you can now deduct in your 2020 taxes, which you couldn't do prior, a shitload of expenses as long as it's in the right place. So it expands the list of eligible expenses. We're about to get to EIDL and the fact that you're going to get $10,000 or the balance thereof. Thumbs up, share it everywhere. Come on, folks. Get over it if you hate Trump. He's in my opinion, he's doing something that's going to help you, and the stock market's telling you that, so have a little faith. Have a little faith. It expands the list, but some people are just so tweaked, they just can't help themselves. Expands, you know what's ironic about that? What did Trump do? He aligned himself with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They were all over Twitter. Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. So why are you Democrats so pissed off? He's aligned with you now. But it's just Trump, right? It's because he said it. He wants to get us more money. He's holding up the show. Well, what if he does get you more money? Because I think he's definitely going to get you more money. Anyway, this PPP law, or the PPP in the new law, expands the list of eligible expenses. I know, this is just bizarre, right? To include covered operations, software, cloud computing, and other human resources and accounting needs. It also applies to property damage costs due to public disturbances that occurred in 2020 that are not covered by your insurance. That's a big deal as far as I'm concerned. Covered supplier costs and covered worker protection expenditures, which are called PPE. It makes eligible 501c6s, designations of marketing companies, DMOs, housing cooperatives, newspapers, broadcasters, and radio stations so they can get on the action too. It repeals the CARES Act provision. Huge news. It repeals the CARES Act provision that requires PPP borrowers to deduct their EIDL advance from their PPP loan forgiveness amount. In other words, if you got a $100,000 PPP loan, as I said yesterday, well, under the old rules, if you got a $10,000 EIDL grant, you had to pay that back or offset, so you really only got $90,000. Well, under this new law, which again is already passed, this is an amendment that Nancy Pelosi is working on. This is already passed. Yes, Trump has to sign it. He's going to, but this is already passed. You don't have to give that money back. So you get the entire PPP loan amount along with your EIDL grant. Fantastic news. It updates the conflict of interest rules and prohibits publicly traded companies. In other words, the fat cats are not going into the cookie jar this time. Creates a farmer and rancher calculation. There's one or two other things there. Again, this is going to be pinned in the top comment. So if you made it this far, about 20 minutes, I'm sorry, folks. I could have cut it down, but it wouldn't be me, and it wouldn't be Christmas Eve, and it wouldn't be the fact that I haven't had any fucking sleep for the last 5 or 6 days. But I stumbled on a gold mine, and here it is. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance Program. 3 points. Point number 1. Provides $20 billion to restart and extend the SBA EIDL advance for small business in low-income communities. Now, if you made it this far, I'm about to tell you how you can decide if you're in low income. Are you paying attention? Take your cell phone after this video is done. Go to the search, Google, etc., and put in your state name. Georgia, median income. Illinois, median income. Florida, median income. It'll come right up. And the rule, just to keep it simple, you are in low income if you live, and I'm about to explain the second thing you must do, in an area that's 80% of your median income. I'll give you an example. If the median income of California is $100,000, the second thing you must do, God, I need some sleep. The second thing that you must do after you go California median income, let's say it's 100 grand, type in your city. I'm in Roswell, Georgia. Let's say you're in Los Angeles. So you go Los Angeles median income. You are in low income with respect to this law now if your city is 80% of the state's median income. So one more time, type in your state, California median income. Let's assume it's 100 grand. Then type in your city, Los Angeles median income. It'll come right up. If it's 80,000 or less, you are in low income, and that means that you qualify for the first $20 billion of EIDL grant. What I've heard in the last 24 hours is about 50 to 60% of you are going to find that you're in low income. I thought it was only going to be 32% because that's what the IRS told me 2 days ago. But under this rule that if your city is 80% or less of your state's median income, you're considered low income for this bill. And all the checking I've done, including calling the SBA, they estimate 50 to 60% are going to be low income. So at least half to 60% of you are a shoo-in for the $10,000 related to low-income community. But point number 2, hurry it up, Jason, 22 minutes. Quote, creates a process for existing EIDL grantees, meaning the folks who already got or applied for an EIDL grant. This is big. I mean, I almost feel like instead of coffee, we should have wine or whiskey. How about, a Bullet Rye, Angel's Envy, as some of you have offered me. I'll take a Jameson on a big rock with a cigar. Creates a process for existing EIDL advance grantees that receive less than $10,000, most of us, to reapply for the difference between what they received and the maximum EIDL advance grant of $10,000, let me insert, fucking dollars. In other words, in black and white, and call Steve Chabot's office, who again is the ranking member. He's the Marco Rubio in the House. And ask his staff, as I have. So if I got a grant at $1,000 per employee, I'm looking at Steve's summary here from the House Committee. Is it true that I'm going to get $9,000? And they're going to say, Y-E-S. Ladies and gentlemen, and the last point has to do with giving the SBA more authority to check fraud. I will pin this in the top comment. This is absolutely fantastic news. Please do me one huge favor, one more time, please. Thumbs up. I usually get about 30% of you to thumbs up. If I could get 40 or 50, this is going to help so many people have a Merry Christmas. Share the damn thing all over the place. If people are going to get tweaked because I told them the truth about Trump, that's fine. And until next time, always remember this. I love you guys. And thank you so much for watching.